There are stories in history that sound too unbelievable to be real. Moments where enemies become allies, where the rules of war break, and everything we think we know about World War II falls apart. In the final days of the war, when the world was collapsing, a small medieval castle in Austria became the stage for the strangest battle of the entire conflict. Inside that castle were VIP prisoners, former prime ministers, generals, and celebrities. Important men, powerful men. Men the Nazis did not want the world to see alive. And when the SS came to silence them forever, something impossible happened. American soldiers and German Wehrmacht soldiers fought side by side against the SS, not as enemies, but as allies. This is the craziest battle of World War II, and the deeper we go, the stranger and more unbelievable this story becomes. Stay with me until the end, because nothing in this story is what you expect. Austria, May 1945. The war is almost over. The Third Reich is collapsing. Cities are burning. Armies are retreating. Chaos spreads through Europe, but high in the Tyrolean mountains stands Castle Itter, cold stone walls, iron gates, a place that looks like a fairy tale fortress. But inside, it is a prison. Not for soldiers, not for criminals, but for VIPs, elite prisoners. Men too important to be sent to camps. Men too dangerous to let go. Former French prime ministers, generals, leaders, resistance figures, even world-famous athletes and intellectuals. They live in rooms instead of cells. They wear suits instead of rags. But make no mistake, they are prisoners. And outside these walls, the war is closing in. The SS is desperate, paranoid, unpredictable, and rumors spread through the castle. Rumors that when the Allies arrive, the SS might kill the prisoners. All of them ought to erase secrets, to erase witnesses, to erase the past. Every night the prisoners listen. 2 distant explosions, 2 artillery echoing through the mountains, and ask themselves the same question. Will anyone come for us before it's too late?
One man refuses to wait for death. His name is Zvonimir Chuchkovich, a Yugoslav prisoner and handyman. Quiet, clever, observant. He studies the guards, learns the patrols, watches the gates, waits for the perfect moment, and one morning, he makes his move. He slips away from the castle, into the forest, into the unknown, carrying only one mission: find help, find the Americans before the SS returns. Every step is a gamble. The roads are crawling with desperate soldiers, retreating convoys, SS patrols who shoot first and ask nothing after. But Chuchkovich keeps moving. Hours turn into miles, miles turn into exhaustion, until finally he reaches a village and finds them. American troops, the 23rd Tank Battalion, tired, dirty, exhausted from fighting, but still advancing. He tells them everything: the castle, the prisoners, the SS, and the Americans listen. Because this isn't just another castle. These aren't ordinary prisoners. And what happens next is something no one expects. While Chuchkovich searches for help, something else happens at the castle. The SS guards abandon their posts. They vanish into the mountains, afraid of surrender, afraid of the prisoners, afraid of their own fate. For a moment, the castle is free. But freedom comes with fear, because without guards, the prisoners are defenseless, and the SS is regrouping nearby. They could come back at any moment. Then a new figure arrives at the gates, a German Wehrmacht officer, not SS, not a fanatic, a soldier. His name is Major Josef Zepp Gang, a man tired of the war, tired of death, tired of fighting a battle already lost. He tells the prisoners the truth. The SS is planning a counterattack, and if they come back, no one in the castle will survive. The prisoners asked, "Will you help us?" He pauses. He thinks. He knows what this means. Helping them means betraying the SS, means betraying his chain of command, means risking his life. But he has seen too much blood, too many lies, too many innocent deaths. So Major Gang makes a choice that will cost him everything. He will protect the prisoners, even if it means fighting his own army. But he can't do it alone. He needs allies. He needs the Americans. Gangel finds an American unit led by Captain John C. Jack Lee Jr., a tank commander. Bold, brave, reckless in the way only true heroes are. He hears Gangel's story and realizes something. They are on the same side now, not as enemies, not as rivals, but as men trying to stop something terrible. Lee agrees, not cautiously, but instantly. They form a plan so strange, so unbelievable, that if it wasn't recorded in history, no one would believe it. American soldiers, German Wehrmacht soldiers, together, riding toward a castle to protect French VIP prisoners from SS troops. It sounds like fiction, but it isn't. This is real. And as they roll through the mountain roads, every tree, every shadow feels like an ambush waiting to happen. Because the SS knows, and they are coming. The castle defenders are few. A handful of American infantry, a small number of German Wehrmacht volunteers, some castle staff, a single Sherman tank parked at the gate like a metal guardian, and inside, the prisoners watch silently. These men who once ruled nations, who once gave orders, now wait behind stone walls, powerless, afraid. The defenders prepare for battle. They stack ammunition, check rifles, secure positions inside towers and windows. There is no retreat, no backup, no escape route. If they fail, the prisoners die. The SS surrounds the valley, black uniforms, machine guns, weapons ready. They know the war is ending, but they want one more victory, one more act of loyalty, one final act of cruelty. The storm is coming, and everyone feels it. The night grows quiet, too quiet. Then, a shot, echoing through the mountains. The battle has begun. Bullets slam into stone walls. Windows shatter. Dust fills the air. The defenders return fire. Americans and Germans, side by side, covering each other, shouting positions, sharing ammunition, not as enemies, not as strangers, but as brothers in survival. The SS closes in, wave after wave, trying to breach the gates. The Sherman tank fires back until it runs out of ammunition and becomes nothing more than a steel shield. Inside the castle, the prisoners listen. Some panic, some pray, some want to fight. Former generals offer tactical advice. Politicians argue. But one thing binds them together: fear. Because if the defenders fall, there will be no mercy. Outside, Major Gangel stands exposed, running between positions, carrying ammunition, calling out targets, guiding prisoners to safety. He risks everything, not for glory, not for rank, but because it is right. Because in this moment, he is no longer fighting for Germany. He is fighting for humanity. Then, a sniper's shot rings out. Major Gangel falls, and with him falls the last hope of escape. But the defenders refuse to break. They fight harder, faster, stronger, because now they are fighting for him too. Hours pass. Ammunition is low. Walls are damaged. The SS is preparing a final assault. And inside the castle, Captain Lee knows the truth. They cannot hold much longer, but he refuses to surrender. He climbs the tower and calls for artillery support. No reply. He calls again. Static. Time is running out. The SS moves closer and closer and closer. The defenders prepare for one last stand. Silence fills the air. Then, in the distance, engines, American engines, reinforcements, rolling fast, charging into the valley. The SS hears them, and fear spreads. They break formation. They scatter. They flee into the mountains. The siege is over. The castle is saved. The prisoners live. And history has just written one of its strangest chapters. This battle had no grand strategy, no giant army, no powerful generals commanding from afar. It was a battle born from conscience, courage, and impossible alliances. American soldiers, German Wehrmacht soldiers, standing together against the SS. Not because they were friends, not because they trusted each other, but because in that moment, right and wrong became clear. Good and evil were no longer uniforms or flags. They were choices. Major Gangel, who once fought for the Reich, died protecting prisoners he had no obligation to defend. Captain Lee, bold and fearless, risked everything to save men who were not even his own citizens. And the prisoners, men who once shaped nations, lived to tell the world what happened that day. Today, Castle Itter still stands. Quiet, peaceful, but its walls remember. They remember the day enemies became allies, the day hatred broke, and humanity won. For a few hours, on one forgotten mountain road, war stopped being about sides and became about people. If this story surprised you, if it made you rethink what courage and loyalty truly mean, then don't let it fade into history. Like the video, share it with someone who loves hidden war stories, and subscribe for more cinematic tales the textbooks rarely tell. Because history isn't only about battles and dates, it's about choices, moments, and stories like this one, where the world stood on the edge and a handful of brave people decided, we will not let darkness win. Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next story.